Hey everyone, Tony here. Hope you're doing well. It is Saturday, November 17th. Hope your weekend is going well. Have some positive news for you guys, even though the market we know has had a major pullback and we're still in that bear market. But we're paying attention to the facts and the things that are happening behind the scenes despite what's happening with the price movements. Now, remember what I said, it's going to be a roller coaster ride to the next bull run because there's a lot of volatility, there's some manipulation in the market, and those are things you got to keep in the back of your mind once you understand those core principles, as well as markets move in cycles, right? So keep in mind these things because as you see movements in the market, you're not like, oh my God, what just happened? But you understand, okay, there's maybe some manipulation, a major sell-off, possibly what they call capitulation, things along that line. Now, the big news I wanted to share with you guys is Switzerland has green-lighted the world's first crypto ETF, and it's to be listed next week. This is very big news and a very great sign. And let me give you some details here. It looks like the index itself will have multiple cryptos within it. So Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Litecoin, Ripple, XRP. So the world's first crypto exchange traded product, ETP, they call it. It's also known as an ETF, is to start trading next week on Europe's fourth biggest exchange, SIX Swiss Exchange, with a market capitalization of $1.6 trillion. A crypto startup, Amun AG, if I pronounce that correctly, has been given the green light to list an index fund on a traditional stock exchange with Hani Rajswan, co-founder and chief executive of Amun, stating the Amun ETP will give institutional investors that are restricted to investing only in securities or do not want to set up a custody for digital assets exposure to cryptocurrencies. It will also provide access for retail investors that currently have no access to crypto exchanges due to local regulatory impediments. And the index components, as I mentioned, is a variety of crypto here: Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, ABC, Litecoin. So very interesting. They have essentially the top cryptos, and the fund tracks the biggest cryptos by market share and accordingly allocates assets. Currently, they have about half on Bitcoin and nearly 30% on Ripple XRP, which recently overtook Ethereum for a second position. Now, guys, what is very interesting in this down market that XRP surpassed Ethereum, and if you look at the disparity here between the market cap, it's above. It looks like it's above 2 billion. This is very interesting, and it could be a sign to come. And from an hourly perspective, XRP is up 5.79%. And the others are kind of not even in that range, but some interesting things happening in this down market, that's for sure. But definitely a good sign for XRP. So let me see if there's anything here as far as let's see. We plan on launching an index basket ETP first. It allows investors to simply buy the market rather than trade specific crypto assets, though we plan on launching specific trackers for each asset in the future too. This is smart. So what they're doing, they're not just saying here's a Bitcoin ETF. They're saying here's a basket of the top cryptos that you can invest in. And I think that's smart, and they're including the top ones. But it sounds like they're going to give individual ones too. But I think it's smart that they're doing, a kind of a basket. And I think a lot of investors will want to move that way because most folks want to diversify, right? But this is a big move. And what's great is it's going to challenge the United States, which the SEC has been making some headway right now in putting out regulations and ruling and resources. And I think these things are, the premise to the launch of the ETF, which the big players like Mike Novogratz and so forth are expecting approval in February 2019, so in Q1. So I think certainly a Bitcoin ETF is around the corner. And they're going to approve, I believe, the CBOE and the VanEck Bitcoin ETFs. Those two, I think for sure. The others, I'm not sure about. But the reason why I'm saying for sure, even though as I've always said, I could be wrong. I'm making an educated guess here. So please, I don't want people coming to this video and say, well, you said this. Reason, in my opinion, why I think those would get approved is because of their history, their cachet, their credibility, that these two companies have had long histories of ETFs, building out ETFs successfully. And so they have that credibility that they're bringing with them. And the SEC has, of course, worked with them in the past to approve other ETFs. So I think we are certainly headed to ETF approval, which I think will, that's my phone, will certainly launch and catapult the market into a major bull run. And like I said, the SEC has, if you pull up the headlines here, as I did in CoinDesk, where they talk about all the regulations, the guides they're putting out, all the resources and so forth. As you can see, SEC official says plain English guide on ICOs coming. And this is all within the past 2 months. In the earlier in the year, they were not doing anything. They were dragging their feet until Hester Pierce, one of the folks there on the SEC's committee, start calling out the rest of the folks on the SEC's board, to like start moving. Like, let's get this done with, right? So we're seeing a lot of progress, a lot of action right now. And the fact that Switzerland went ahead and did this, you can expect the United States does not want to get left behind, right? Everyone is kind of slow to, okay, I don't want to be the first, but no one wants to get left behind, and expect other countries to start doing the same. This is a great sign. Now, I've said in the past, I personally don't care for an ETF because I'm going to be holding my cryptos, physically holding them in a sense of storing in them in my hardware wallet, right? Having my private keys and so forth. So I'm not even going to be investing in an ETF. But what we need to understand now, you got to think bigger picture, macro level, holistically now. This opens the door for a lot of different types of money. People who don't want to touch crypto or physically hold it, or even deal with custody service, but can offer an ETF, which is going to bring in so much money into the market. And I want to share some perspective here as to what the ETFs did to the gold market. And of course, we know there's ETFs for silver and so forth, right? So, but if we were to make the analogy here, Bitcoin and gold and so forth, right? So there's an article here on Market Watch from 2013. It says how gold ETFs have transformed the market in 10 years. And it shows the exponential growth of the gold market and value due to ETFs, and which were launched in 2003. So very interesting here. Let's see. Let me give you some details. Investors are celebrating. This is from 2013. Investors are celebrating the 10th anniversary of the world's first exchange-traded fund backed by physical gold, and they're in awe over how much the investment vehicle has altered the landscape for the precious metals market forever. And let me see. I'm just trying to see if there's a quote here. On March 28, 2003, the first gold-backed ETF developed by ETF Securities was launched. And let's see. Since its launch, interest in gold has grown astronomically as prices have jumped to around $1,600 an ounce from about $332 at the time of launch. So, very big growth, that the gold market saw, and the precious metals overall, because that trickled down to silver and so forth. So I absolutely believe the same thing could happen in crypto here, that there's going to be a trickle down effect. And of course, what's going to happen if you have a Bitcoin ETF, you're going to have an Ethereum ETF and an XRP ETF and so forth, right? The top ones are going to get in there. And here's a chart just showing the growth of the parabolic growth of gold when the ETF was introduced. Hopefully you guys can see this. And there's a comparison here with the Bitcoin chart. It looks it's so very similar. It's so funny how it's similar it looks. And here's possible Bitcoin ETF introduction, which is the window is right now between now and February, right? We know Backed is launching December 12th with a physically backed ETF, which I think is a game changer. There's some other folks who I believe the Van Eck folks are doing a physically backed Bitcoin ETF. So Bitcoin will be the foot in the door, and then it's going to open up to some of the top alts for sure. I believe Ethereum and XRP will be having their own ETFs as well. So once again, guys, I like to be logical, factual, and approach this from a business standpoint. So I wanted to give you this comparison and share this news, and I think this is definitely good for the market. Sure, is there a double-edged sword here with ETFs shorting the market and all that? Yes, but with those of us who are holding right now at the low point, we're in a good position because it's only going to go up from here, and it's going to open the door for the floodgates for more money to come in. And that's what we want. More investors, the value goes up. We start seeing adoption, and that gives us the opportunity to make significant profit, a lot of money, given what we saw in the last bull run. And I'm telling you, that's nothing compared to what's coming. As you see these guys like Fidelity and TD Ameritrade, and of course powered by the parent company in New York Stock Exchange, Starbucks, and so forth. And I expect Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, all these guys are going to eventually want to get in, especially with the ETF, right? Because once again, they can list the ETF, offer an ETF without having to actually provide custody service or hold the cryptos directly. So that brings in more money, and then it creates a lot of hype and a lot of bullish sentiment. So that's why the ETF is good. I know there's some pros and cons to it, right? There's some cons, but I believe the pros vastly outweigh the cons. So very big sign here. Keep holding. Don't lose patience. You have to be patient here. Let these things play out. Let the infrastructure be set up here, and then we're going to see some big moves. So on to some other news here. Ripple has been doing a lot of marketing, and they've been doing a lot of charity work. And I think this is a smart move what they did here. Berkeley has been awarded a multi-year, multi-million-dollar grant from Ripple, a growing company in the emerging blockchain industry, to support research, courses, and student activities in blockchain, cryptocurrency, and digital payments. So there's a document here from the Institute for Business and Social Impact. Proposal submission deadline November 30th. It looks like, let me see, call for faculty and student research proposals, and they highlight that Berkeley has gotten the grant. So shout out to Bank XRP who found this. So this may not be anything specific to utility, right, as far as XRP and so forth is concerned, but remember, what do companies have to do to get more exposure? Marketing, right? And part of marketing is doing some charity work, philanthropical activities and things along that line. And this is definitely getting involved with many of these different colleges and universities is a smart way to move forward with, and to possibly get their foot in the door with maybe XRP being used in their ecosystems in some way. Remember the Spring Initiative, right? So on to the next news here. Felixo. I don't know why. When I do these videos, I have a problem pronouncing words and names. It's weird. A newly launched Turkey exchange has listed XRP with a BTC pair. So I want to shout out to Leonidas who saw this. This was launched on October 30th. So those of you in Turkey, you can check this out, and maybe this will be helpful for you. Now, this is funny. Rand Neuner, you guys know him. He's the guy on CNBC Crypto Trader Show, and he hosted. And at one point he was spreading tons of FUD about Ripple and XRP, but he went to Ripple's offices and they educated him. Now he holds XRP in his portfolio. He publicly discloses this on his website. He tweeted the following today, or I should say late last night. These hash wars highlight why everyone should dump Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash and just put all their money into XRP. Oh man, it's so funny how people are waking up and the facts and the education is moving about. Now there's still the ignorant who just go around saying shitcoin and banker coin, right? That's the only thing they can say. without actually bringing logical, factual thoughts to an argument or debate, saying, hey, well, this is why I don't like it. They just say it's a banker scam coin and this is going to happen. And anyway, we know about the decentralized versus centralized argument. Bitcoin Cash just showed the big flaw in proof of work. Not saying proof of work can't work, but you can't just go around saying it's 100% decentralized, because it's obviously not. And then what we're seeing with Bitcoin is China is controlling the majority of the hash rate. And what, as far as the nature of crypto and investing, there are big players who are holding it, banks themselves who are going to be investing and holding millions of it and can dump it and drive the price down. So, but there's a lot of ideology and people who have their religious following and feelings and whatever. And look, I've said it many times. I'm here to make money. I hold Bitcoin, I hold Ethereum, I hold XRP, Litecoin. And I'm not here to destroy banks or whatever people are trying to do. I'm not saying I like what the banks do many of the times, like what, the nature of the things that happen in, the 2008 financial crisis. Obviously, no one wants that to happen. I believe heavy regulation is important. But in the society we live in, there's the gap between, these businesses and the government is no longer there. They're all integrated now. And that's like a major issue that needs to be resolved. But is it destroying banks that going to solve anything? No. Banks just need to be regulated. They need the proper regulations put into place. They're not inherently bad. There's a reason why people were able to get loans and buy houses and get their cars and so forth. If that wasn't around, how would you be able to buy stuff or finance things, right? So I'm a realist, and I'm not looking to destroy governments or banks. I believe in regulating them. So there's restrictions and things they can't cross, which puts themselves, they can put themselves and everyone's money and the economy at risk. Of course, everybody wants some sort of regulation in place. So just my thoughts, my opinion. What do you guys think about this news? I think this is big. This Switzerland approval, it's going to set the standard. We'll probably start seeing other countries. I believe the U.S. will definitely speed up their process. So we'd love to hear what you guys think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Thumbs up if you like this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Links in the description. Thank you guys for your support, and I'll talk to you all later.